probably have heard of Nike and their now famous slogan, "Just do it." It is really a pretty simple saying when you think about it. It's only 3 words, but nonetheless, it says a lot. Since the late 80s, this slogan has motivated people to simply start doing what they want, rather than putting it off for another day. Whatever it is you want to do, you either do it now or you move on to something else. Well, we all know it's a lot easier said than done. If you take a closer look at this slogan, you will discover that "just do it" does not end with an exclamation mark. If it did, it would give a person a bit of wiggle room to escape from finishing the task at hand. Instead, the phrase ends in a full stop. What does that mean? It simply means that you are going to do what you said you want to do. Right now, with no excuses. Just do it. So you might be asking yourself, what does this have to do with today's reading from the Gospel of Matthew? Actually, it has everything to do with it. We hear at the end of today's reading that when Joseph awoke, he did as the angel of the Lord had commanded him. No questions asked, no thinking about whether he should do as the angel of the Lord had asked. Joseph simply said yes and faithfully obeyed the Lord and took Mary into his home. He not only demonstrated his unwavering sense of obedience by saying yes to the Lord's command, he did it unconditionally with love. In our culture today, obedience is not one of our most popular words. However, it is a word which should inspire a sense of gratitude because obedience brings great blessings. We need to look no further than the obedience of Jesus to the will of his Father. In the book of Hebrews, it states, "Son though he was, he learned obedience from what he suffered. And when perfected, he became the source of eternal salvation for all who obey him." Obedience is something we learn through trust in those we obey. We learn to obey our parents as children through trusting in them and doing as they ask. Likewise, Jesus learned obedience through what he suffered and endured because he trusted his Father's wisdom, his love, and word. We, as Catholics, can also fulfill our obedience to God and church by observing the commandments and the precepts of the church. For example, attending Mass on Sundays and holy days of obligation, receiving the sacrament of reconciliation. To submit freely to God, to submit to his word and his will, it is to give the yes of our intellect, our emotions, our heart, and our soul, to give the yes of our total being. To talk about giving obedience to God is one thing. Doing so is quite another. In today's reading, we have 2 of the best models of what saying yes means: the Blessed Virgin Mary and Joseph. It is almost as if the Nike slogan, "Just do it," originated some 2,000 years ago with Mary and Joseph. They did not hesitate when called to do the Lord's will. They simply said yes. On this, the 4th Sunday of Advent, a time of spiritual preparation, we are only 3 days from Christmas. This evening, you have an opportunity to exercise the Nike slogan, "Just do it." St. Bridget's is having an evening prayer service with Vespers at 5 o'clock tonight. Then this will be followed by the Sacrament of Reconciliation. Monsignor Hendricks has made arrangements to have over 10 priests from the diocese available to hear confessions this evening. As you are finalizing your purchases and wrapping presents for your loved ones this Christmas season, why don't you consider giving yourself a spiritual present by going to Vespers tonight and receiving the sacrament of reconciliation? It is one of the most important gifts you can give yourself this Advent season. Say yes and just do it.